I'm going to give you a little item now, which I think has maybe more interesting to the juvenile members of the audience than it may perhaps be to the greybeards amongst us. I refer only to the gentlemen, of course, when I say greybeards. This is a little limerick competition. You will remember there was a great craze on limericks some 2 or 3 years ago. One had to buy a sixpenny postal order, and send that into the editor of some newspaper who'd written half a limerick, and you wrote the other half, and won a fortune by doing so. I don't think. Well, I spent a lot of money on postal orders, but I didn't win many fortunes, and there may be some here, perhaps, who don't remember exactly what a limerick is. For the benefit of those fortunate few, I'd like to say that a limerick is a little nonsense verse of 5 lines that will say something like this. Oh yes, here's one. There was a young lady of Lynn who was so excessively thin that when she essayed to drink lemonade, she slipped through the straw and fell in. That's the idea. Very well then. Now that we know what the text is like, as it were, I'd like to mention the conditions of the competition. I've written a few of these limericks on the subject of our public schools, because I find I'm always meeting boys in the public schools amongst my audiences, and wherever one goes all over the world, of course, one is sure of meeting old boys in public schools, so I hope these verses may be just as interesting to the old boys amongst us as to the young boys. Indeed, they may perhaps be interesting to the young girls, and the middle-aged girls, and the old girls. Oh no, there are no old girls, of course. And I leave out one word at the end of each verse. I lead you to believe that I'm going to utter a certain word which rhymes with the end of the second line. Instead of uttering that word, hava, excuse me saying hava in that trutty way, won't do it, on this side, peacefully side, I'll say it again. Instead of uttering that word, hava, I substitute some other word for it or leave it out entirely, and I want you to try and guess what the word is. Now, don't guess it out loud, please, because there's only one word to fit each case, and consequently everybody gets the same word at the same time. And when it comes to the distribution of prizes, which is going to happen afterwards, I shan't be here then, of course. There'll be an awful state of chaos. So when you think you know what the word is, write it down on a piece of paper, hand that into the host together with sixpence, the entrance fee, thank you very much. And then, providing the host doesn't stick to the money before I see how much there is to be divided, there will be 2 prizes. The first prize will be preference, so we're doing very well on our capital account, aren't we? And the second prize will be an admission to a London theatre when it's closed for alterations and repairs. Well, now that we know exactly what the conditions are, we will get on with the competition. I'm going to sing you a ditty, and it's neither poetic nor pretty, and the boys home from school might say I'm a fool. Well, that's just what I am, more's the misfortune. Said a boy who was schooling at Harrow, though my figure resembles a marrow, my brains are the sizes, I win all the prizes, and push them all home in a pantechnicon. In the school for commercials at Spinner, one boy was a very great sinner, so they thrashed him all day, and I'm sorry to say that he had to stand up to his breakfast. Said a naval cadet named Chavas, I can read, steer, and box the compass. I'm clever and keen on all matters marine, but our skipper's a silly old gentleman. A fat boy in college at Dover said riding in cabs is all clover. He leaned, so they say, against a cab there one day, and his weight knocked the poor old cab sideways. There was a young scholar at Ongar whose muscles grew stronger and stronger. He caught a disaster by hitting a master, and now he's at Ongar no less than he was before. At Eton, a boy called Maguire was an aviator or a flyer. He says he can fly 15,000 feet high, but the other boys think he's nothing of the sort. At Horsham, a blue kid named Hocking was guilty of conduct quite shocking, for he jumped into bed with a hat on his head and a hole in the heel of his necktie. A young undergrad down at Cam went in for a certain exam. Before he came off, he developed a cough, which caused the young man to say, "Dear me, how very unfortunate some people are." This is the French verse sung by the French master. Chantez doucement, mes enfants. Que voulez-vous manger ce soir? Je ne sais pas ma tasse à la poire, parce que rien du tout, et chacun a son goût. Mais mon père toujours mangeait les eggs and bacon when he liked it. Italian verse sung by the Italian master. Dancino e recitativo, allegretto marcati a tempo, ristoranti pagani, e viva mascani, pagliati vibrato, tomato, potatoes and onions and other vegetables in season. To the end of my tether I've got, this is the last verse of the lot. After all said and done, we've had 5 minutes fun, notwithstanding the whole thing is Gammon.